Social proof isn't about convincing. It's about giving your prospect the comfort of knowing that others have taken the same step, making them comfortable taking that same step with you. I'll tell you more in just a second. Hi, I'm Jeff C. West. I'm the award-winning author of 4 business and sales parables. I have over 30 years of successful sales and leadership experience across multiple industries. I've shared the stage, both in person and virtually, with legends like Bob Burg and Brian Tracy. I know what it takes to help you win in sales and leadership, and I'm here to help you do exactly that. So let's get started. Today, we are in the final installment of my video series based on Bob Burg's and my sales parable, Streetwise to Saleswise, Become ObjectionProof and Beat the Sales Blues. Today, we're going over the final 2 steps in the Becoming ObjectionProof process: offer social proof and close the sale. Offering social proof is very simple. It's about having reference material, videos. It can be letters. It can be anything where you can show that your existing client base is happy with what you do for them, that you follow through on the promises, you keep them, that your company is able to get the job done, and it provides the solution that you told them would in the very beginning. There's many ways you can do this. You can have video testimonials if your clients are comfortable doing that for you. You can have short written testimonials. You can actually even oftentimes get these testimonials. You can give them a couple or 3 sentences to start with, or maybe even do the whole thing for them and they sign off on it. But you want it to basically lay out the fact that you are someone who can do what you say you can do. And by the way, when you have objections, it's a really good idea to group some of these testimonials in such a way that they cover some of the main objections that you're going to get out there. And you can have them filed away. Well, if it's a price objection, I'm going to pull out ABC Company's reference on me. Or if it's a delivery question, I'm going to pull out this company's reference on me. You can organize them in such a way that whatever objection comes up, you've got proof that you can do it right. And it's really vital that you have these available to you, because the social proof doesn't close the sale. It doesn't make the decision for them, but it lets your prospect know, hey, other people have heard what you've done, and they're saying, yes, you can deliver on the promises you make, and that's huge. And then once you've done that, the final step is to close the sale. And my favorite way to close the sale was always to get a prospect to say no. Somewhere along the lines in my early years in sales, I kind of came to the conclusion people would rather tell a salesperson no than tell them yes. So I developed a question that they could tell me no, and it moved the sales process forward. And mine was very simply something like this: do you see any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with this? Well, no. Well, when they say no, they're actually telling you, okay, you're closing the sale now. But you can pick any number of ways to close a sale. The thing I will tell you is don't overcomplicate it. It can be as simple as, would you like to start this process this month or next week or today or tomorrow? Would you like it in blue or green? There's any number of ways you can close the sale. I like mine best, but it's because I've just done it for so long. But at that point, go ahead and close the sale and begin the process of moving forward. Now that we've finished the series, I'm going to give you a recap of all the steps and how you can become objection-proof in your sales process. First off, handle common objections that you know are baked into your company, to your product or your service. Handle those common objections during the sales conversation, along with a solution. If you bring it up there with a solution, it's education. But if your prospect voices the same issue after you've finished, well, then it's an objection and you have to work with it a little bit differently. The next thing is, the better your discovery questions, the fewer their objections. When your discovery questions result in them openly discussing the issues they face, some potential solutions, and how valuable those solutions could be for them, it makes your job a lot easier as the time goes on, because they've already told you everything that you wanted them to hear anyway. And then the third thing that we recommend is that you never try to overcome an objection. Reason's pretty simple. The word overcome means to prevail against, to conquer. No one wants to have that feeling. So if you're in a sales conversation and someone voices an objection to you, and then you try to overcome it, it's going to bite you. It's going to be a bad thing for you. So instead of trying to overcome that objection, work side by side with them to find a solution that meets their needs. And once you've accepted those three mindsets going into it, then it's pretty easy for you to follow the Becoming Objection-Proof steps. Step 1, control your emotions. When you get an objection, it's going to set off a collision point inside you and your prospect. You don't want to act or react based on how that somatic marker makes you feel in the moment. Instead, take a breath and control your emotions, and that will actually help your prospect calm down as well. The collision point for both of you will dissipate. The second thing that you should do is empathize with their concern. Give it some credibility. Say something along the lines of, I can understand why that's something you'd want to consider. It's certainly worth that. You're not going to agree with them, but you're going to give credence to their opinion, their objection. The next step is to dig a little deeper. Most of the time when you get an objection, it may or may not be the real objection. Oftentimes it's other things underneath the surface that lead up to that objection. And so you can find yourself giving the perfect answer to the completely wrong objection if you just take it at face value. So dig a little deeper. Let them know you want to make sure that you understand what they said from their perspective, not just yours. And you really do want to understand more about what they are thinking. It relaxes them when you do that. The next step is to isolate the objection. And you simply do that by asking a question along the lines of, other than this issue, do you see any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with what we're talking about? Then reframe the issue. And when you reframe the issue, you basically give them a back door, you ask permission, and then you offer your solution. You're getting them to see it from a slightly different perspective. Giving them a back door. I realize that although I've been able to provide these same solutions to other people and it's worked really well for them, this may or may not be the right solution for you. It's giving them that back door. Oddly enough, the more of a back door you give them, the less likely they are to take it. Then ask permission to change their perspective. If I may, would it be all right if I kind of show you a different perspective on the issue? They're going to say yes because you've earned that credibility with them. Then you reframe it and you offer your solution. You let them see it from a different angle, basically. And then the final two steps are, like we talked about today, offer social proof. Let them know that others have made the same decision. It'll make them more comfortable going forward. And close the sale. And my favorite way to close a sale, do you see any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with this? Well, no. Yeah, that's exactly right. I hope you've gotten a lot out of our Becoming Objection-Proof video series. And if you like it, make sure that you go down below, you subscribe, you hit the like video, and you hit the notifications bell so that every time that I post a new training video, you'll see it. So take care. Bye-bye.